Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Hello, and welcome to my movie review of the new Quentin Tarantino film, Inglourious Basterds, starring Brad Pitt, Diane Kruger, Eli Roth, Melanie Laurent, and Til Schweiger, among others. Well, after a lackluster response at the Cannes Film Festival, many were worried about how the film would turn out. The Weinstein Company wanted to have 30 minutes cut from it, but it never happened, and I can honestly say I'm glad it didn't. The effectiveness of the metaphorical scenery present throughout this entire film would have suffered had the film been cut down, and it would have made the film downright confusing. When I say what I'm about to say, you're probably not going to believe me, but just remember how talented and original Tarantino can be. This film is a spaghetti western set in Nazi-occupied France. If it sounds ironic or even impossible, well, that's kind of the point. The second I saw the opening scene in the film, I noticed it from somewhere else. The classic Clint Eastwood western, Unforgiven. In this picture here, you'll see a shot of the opening scene from Unforgiven on the top, and the opening scene from Inglourious Basterds on the bottom. The entire shot is almost exactly the same, with the house and the tree in the exact same locations, and a man chopping wood on a chopping block on the right side of the tree in Unforgiven, and the left side near the middle in Inglourious Basterds. Both men in these scenes are farmers. Now, before you get all indignant on me, you have to realize that this is, of course, a spectacular nod to the film, as nothing that follows in the film is taken directly from Unforgiven. However, you will see many other nods to classic westerns in this film. It's not surprising to me that people at Cannes didn't like it, because they probably don't know much about the anatomy of a western. I'm sure there were a few there that did, but the fact that the audience at Cannes was torn told me that perhaps a lot of them did not understand the anatomy of a western. Anyways, the reason I call this a western set in Nazi-occupied France is because it quite honestly is, as the very composition of the film is set up much like a western would be. Even in the very first chapter, we see two men sitting at a table with a ferocious ferocity about their wits, playing a game of cat and mouse. Who has the bigger gun, or in this case, pipe? At one point in the film, we see a similar conversation taking place in a bar. The bartender readies his shotgun behind the bar as everyone at the table to the right has their guns pointed at each other under the table as they calmly discuss things as if there were nothing wrong. This type of scene is right out of a western, but in this movie it takes place in a bar in a basement somewhere in France. Even the small details, such as the cowboys and Indians style of the bastard's speech and fighting, all of it is about as western as a movie can get, for a film set in Europe. Is it outrageous? Yes, of course. It's Tarantino, for crying out loud. However, the film feels more like the Coen brothers did it than Tarantino, as the art style was pulled off better than anything I have ever seen this particular director do in my entire life. Put simply, I knew he was good, but I had no idea he was this good. If you would have told me someone could make a good movie made to replicate the exact feel of a western, but the entire film was set in Nazi-occupied France, I'd have told you you're full of it. Tarantino has proven me wrong. What violence there is actually finds itself scarce throughout most of the film, like a classic Western tends to do, waiting for the final shootout at the old corral, or, in this case, a small French theater. However, this simply means that the violence is well placed and not simply splattered on the screen for shock effect. It's honestly nice to see Tarantino stray from his normal path on this one, because it gives the film much more artistic credibility. The acting was great, especially from the lesser-known actors and actresses. Although the web was abuzz about Mike Myers making a comeback and being almost unrecognizable in this film, in my opinion, he kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. However, it's hard to argue with his acting because it fit the style of the film to a T. I loved almost everything about this film, a whole lot more than I expected to, and as such, I'm going to have to give it an A. It's awkward, it's ironic, and it's a whole lot of fun, provided you know enough about film history to catch all the excellent metaphorical scenery, as well as the many nods to westerns shown in this film. The language used in the film was poetically well written, so don't let the captions turn you off. As awkward as it sounds to say, if you enjoy westerns, you owe it to yourself to see this film. Thanks for watching my review, and I hope you've enjoyed all my summer reviews, as this is the last one I'll be doing for the series. I have to say, I've had a lot of fun doing these summer movie reviews, and as such, I'll be bringing more movie reviews to the channel whenever I have the chance. I'm also planning to do a video with my top 5 movies of the summer, and you can expect that sometime in the next month. Rest assured, there is more to come. I can safely say I am satisfied enough with how this went that next year there will be another run of this series for the summer movies of 2010. I hope you'll tune in for that, and I hope you'll tune in for movie reviews I do between then and now. So thank you for all your support, and I hope you had as much fun as I did doing these reviews.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.